What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause volatility in stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So as far as data points coming out this week, even from China, you have some pretty big data. So Thursday, January the 16th, GDP, retail sales. So of course that in general could move a lot of the Chinese stocks. Aside from that, in the States, I bring this up because this does affect algorithmic trading. You have the dreaded CPI. So that one is going to be the big one for the market. And this is going to be the first inflationary data point that does come out ever since Powell kind of signaled that their expectations for 2025 is moving from 2.1 to 2.5. So that's basically what's going to move, obviously, the market and through that NIO. But we also do have the registration numbers coming out on Tuesday, but as of late, they haven't really done all that much. So far, interestingly enough, there hasn't been all that much in even speculative news for NIO. So it is just kind of stuck in limbo, regrettably. So no official, no speculative news for NIO. And in general, I started to really look at the technicals, and I know in my videos, I bring up what is happening at this moment and what could potentially affect it, like let's say 1 week out or whatever else. But even if you zoom out, the reason why I do my videos is if someone wants to, let's say, average down, they want to see exactly where it might be going, which even though a lot of you don't agree with me, it has been largely accurate on kind of the direction. So technicals do play a very big part in NIO, but even if you do zoom out, look on a month-over-month basis, like 90% of the time NIO is down. But when it does go up, it goes up very, very fast. So for instance, November 2023 up 29%, 53% June 2023, 29 in May. You have a lot of a big gap in, for the most part, any substantial upside that has actually stuck around for NIO. But August 2024, 67%. So I think the moral of the story is timing is absolutely key with NIO, and that's usually any stock as well, but NIO I think is a little bit more manipulated, largely because of it being a Chinese stock. So yeah, just let me know your viewpoint on that. But going into this upcoming week though, shorts should be fairly reactive to the data points. So they've been somewhat timid as of late, but except on Friday, they kind of did awaken for the most part. 11.36% of the free float is being shorted. So that's what we're going into this upcoming week with. 151.74 million shares. That's what it kind of works out to be. Even on Friday, they did increase 633,000 shares. Cost to borrow average is 3.02%. So just kind of watch for them, and hopefully once again as time progresses, NIO does head towards profitability. That'll be a natural deterrent, but until then, just kind of watch the technicals and stuff like that. But based on this right here, the call options that was purchased, you see a consensus for it to be around that $5 range for this week. This week is a monthly chain, so just looking at the open interest, this could come into play. So I do cover a couple other stocks that options is a little bit more popular, and you often enough do see some manipulation coming from market makers and shorts trying to suppress it below kind of these very strong walls because they have a financial interest in keeping, for instance, NIO or whatever stock below these prices, so that way they expire worthless. And so that could be also one reason why NIO has been just trending down, because at the $5 strike price, there is 103,000 at that, like I said, $5 strike price for this upcoming week, 67,000 at that 6, 101,000 at that 750. So market makers want all of those to expire worthless. So I think in general, that could have been one attributing factor why this random string over the last 4 months has been largely red, because maybe they were just preparing in advance to kind of bring it down. But as far as eyeing this upcoming week, 29,000 at that $4 strike price. So you might see shorts awaken this week as well, just to try to suppress NIO below this $4 strike price. So it's not far-fetched. I've seen a lot of stocks and shorts do that. More specifically, 𝗖𝗎 when it was roughly around that $7 range, it would get manipulated down 50 cents just to close 1 cent below the strike price. That way it'd get all these would be expired worthless and whatever else. So kind of just stay tuned for that. As far as some strong support and resistance points with it at $4.17, it is exactly on this S3. So that 416 is a must hold point for NIO. So even though it's been hit very hard in a short time span, the technicals are somewhat iffy. So the fact that it's trading between this S2 and this S3 right now shows that the market is kind of treating NIO as extremely damaged, which in my opinion, I think that's just a massive overreaction. So I think there is a lot of different manipulative factors that's happening behind the scenes, but nonetheless, $4.16 is that must hold. If not, then anticipate $3.76. So obviously that would work into shorts' interest as well, because then that way that would aid in this 29,000 expiring. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on that. No new analyst ratings. Last one was done 4 days ago. I've covered this in previous videos, so no changes for that. As far as the technicals go though, so this week isn't looking all that great. It did have a very aggressive gap down, so it is right now going into this upcoming week below the ALMA, below all the key pivotal moving averages. So in my opinion, I think the trend is really signaling more consolidation, possibly to that kind of roughly around that August 2024 range where it did hit that high threes. So that seems to have been a very strong support back then. So going back over here, that $3.76 might be that kind of line in the sand once again for NIO to really bounce off of. So again, as I mentioned, I like to go over where NIO might be going just in case you want to average down, buy, or whatever else. And I've even stated in previous videos that that is the point where I will buy more. So I'll be comfortable buying more at that 380-ish range, or even if it does dip slightly below that. I think it's a very good risk versus reward at that stage, but I could be wrong. My crystal ball could be wrong. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Give yourself a shout out if you plan on buying this week, or if you've been selling. Where do you see things going as well? So throw your price predictions in the comments below. And what is your just general thoughts on NIO? Do you think it is manipulated? Do you think it's more of a systemic actual NIO specific problem, or what is your viewpoint on all of that? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all of that, appreciate all of you watching.